Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. I'm just going to keep on bringing you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews, that 40-ish and $100 range. Most of these are way less than that, and a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And I got 10 fragrances for you guys here today that are very affordable and work great in the office during the wintertime. So let's just get into these fragrances. I want to go over a fragrance that I think is a great idea that they did. Cloning a fragrance that's discontinued, a beloved discontinued fragrance. I think that needs to happen more often. So let's go over Lattafa's Al Neshama Caprice. This is a clone of La Nuit Blue Electrique, which smells a lot like the original, just with an added little bit of crisp freshness. It's warm, spicy, cardamom, powdery, classic, masculine, but it's, even though it projects decent, it appears to be kind of soft, and it lasts for a good amount of time. It's got that class and purpose, but it's not overly bold or making any kind of real statements. It's just easy and pleasing. Don't dial too many sprays because this does project pretty decent with that warm spiciness. The powdery kind of keeps it nice and soft and subtle, but just don't overspray with this one. Just take it easy, and I think this is a good option for the office in the cooler weather. And if you can't tell, I'm keeping these kind of like super basic. I just want to mention the ones that I think are good for this, that are just budget friendly, that are going to work really good in the winter time, because basically in the winter in your office, it's probably not going to be cold, so you don't need something extra sweet, extra loud, extra long lasting, but you want something that's going to have a little bit of staying power, be inoffensive, but still have that vibe of the cool weather. So that leads me to my next one, and that is the original Guess Seductive in the purple bottle. You can find these Seductives for a crazy affordable price, and this one, I'm not even gonna lie, has like a spicy fruity pebbles kind of a thing. It's ambery, it's spicy, it's fruity, it's got some florals, but it's nice. It's really nice. It's definitely a little bit youthful. There's no doubt there. It's definitely got a youthful thing, but it's good for the winter. It's got compliment factor for sure because it's so easygoing, but there's a little bit of like a sparkle up top going along with that like fruity, sweet, floral thing. Like I said, spicy fruity pebbles. Just check it out. You see I put a little dent in this thing. I like it. I wear it a lot, and I know one of you guys that I follow that is also a reviewer who owns lots of fragrances. Some are niche, some are designer. This is one of his jams, and he's got pretty good taste too. If you're watching, you know who I'm talking about. And while I'm on the page of the Guess Seductive line, might as well go over Guess Seductive Noir. This one is basically like 1 million with a green apple twist. It's got that cinnamon, it's got a little bit of that freshness up top. But yeah, it's got like a green apple cinnamon. I just sprayed that totally the wrong direction. Now I'm going to smell like that on my hand, which ain't a bad thing because this one smells good. So just get 1 million, put a little bit of a tart green apple twist on it, and take out some of that mint, and you'll have something like this. The performance isn't the best, but it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I get about 5 hours out of this one all day long. I wore it not too long ago when I was going out to eat. Fit the vibe just right. It wasn't like super cold, but it was like getting cold, and I was like, yeah, I get to reach for something that's for the cool weather, and this was one of the first ones I reached for. So yeah, Guess Seductive Noir. And they're like crazy affordable. They are crazy affordable right now. These things are getting knocked down. I keep seeing the blue in stores also not, any of them in this line are good, in my opinion, especially for the price. But yeah, this is one of the office friendly ones. The reason why I didn't pick the red one is because it's kind of bold and sharp and stuff like that, and your next door neighbor might not be getting along with you too well. Well, I might as well knock out all of the Guess fragrances that I was going to talk about that I personally own that I think fit this bill. And I have to put this one on here. Guess 1981 Los Angeles. It's kind of like Versace Eros. Kind of like that. It's just not as minty up top. What's really cool about this one is it has this beautiful plum black pepper combination and a little bit of tobacco. That plum black pepper is just attention grabbing in my opinion. But this is a soft fragrance. It projects, it's not like a weak fragrance, but it's soft. It doesn't pump off real far like Eros. It's not that playful and loud and stuff like that. But as far as overall longevity, it'll get you at least until lunch. If you clock in at like 8 o'clock or something like that, this thing will get you at least until there. You go ahead and refresh. If you keep this thing like with you, you can probably keep it with you in your car because it's the winter time. Do like 2 or 3 more sprays around the neck and it'll hold you through the rest of the day. Great fragrance. High in the compliment department. Yeah, 1981 Los Angeles. I love this thing. This particular fragrance I keep on seeing at my local Burlington. It's like I can't help but see one of these, the blue and the black, but I don't have those. I have this one, CR7, probably the most notorious out of all of them. And this one it's like a powdery, spicy vanilla wood. It smells a whole lot like the original Jean Paul Gaultier. It smells a whole lot like the original. I think this might have a touch more spice and a little less of that bergamot. Other than that, powdery, vanilla. It's got that old school type smell, but it seems a little bit not as playful and slightly more synthetic, which I would hope because that one's like $80 or $100 or something, and this is like $20. Look at this cap. Thing clicks in really nice. Bottle, I love the way this thing feels in my hand. I love the way the bottle feels, everything about it, and the way that it smells. Yeah, super budget friendly, office friendly version of them all. CR7, it just gets the job done. This next fragrance, I'm glad that I decided to wear this one yesterday and then I wore it again today because I was reminded how much I actually like this thing. And when I first got it, I was really knocking this thing for the performance. But I ain't gonna lie, this thing has ramped up its game. The projection is about the same, but I'll be darned if I wasn't smelling it like pump off of me every now and then, hours afterwards, which is really awesome. And that is Dunhill's Custom. Look at that bottle. Nice looking bottle. It's got a little bit of detailing on the bottom. This little thing on the top, from what I understand, is you used to be able to send this into Dunhill and they would customize whatever you want to say. So that's hence the name. Clicks into place nice. The whole thing, it just feels expensive. The cap is real light feeling, so there's only that. It's not expensive feeling. Atomizer is, I mean, it squirts out enough. And yeah, this is like get a red apple, get it a little bit candied, sprinkle some black pepper on top, and get some incense. That's basically what's happening with this one. A candied, peppered incense red apple. Beautiful, beautiful smelling. It's got a little bit of sharpness, but it's nothing overwhelming. And it's like held up by like a base of woods, but the woods never like come out like real far. That black pepper is kind of like what takes over a little bit with the red apple, the candy red apple. Gorgeous smelling fragrance. Sometimes it reminds me a little bit of like a synthetic cheap Pert Plus shampoo. I know that sounds kind of weird after everything I just described, but it kind of has that kind of a little bit of a sharpness up top, but it never becomes annoying or overwhelming. Just, I mean, for the price, check this thing out. It smells really good. The performance at first was terrible, but man, I had it for a year, busted out again just the other day, and I was happy then that I got it. I'm really happy now. So Dunhill Custom. This fragrance might be one of my favorite in this particular lineup of Kenneth Cole, and that is Mankind Hero. This one is a lemony, lavender, vanilla, spicy. It's even got like this mountain air thing, but up top, what you're really gonna get at first is that lemony thing, like a sharp lemony, but it lands on a good dose of soft lavender. Bad atomizer right now. And a bit of sweetness from some vanilla. You know, like I said, I'm keeping this really basic. I'm not going into detail, but I'm just giving you the overall theme of the fragrance. Projection and performance, longevity is right at the average mark. It's not above or below, so that's another reason why this works really good in the office. It's got a little bit of that sweetness, a little bit of that sharp citrus up top, but it just works in a semi-cold environment. Mankind Hero, another one worth looking at. Up next is a fragrance that when I start explaining the notes and if it sounds sexy, that's because it is that sexy. And I'm surprised at how much I like this thing after I started wearing it. Kenneth Copper Black. It has this beautiful green apple, leather, whiskey, woody kind of combination. Green apple, whiskey. Beautiful. Little bits of vanilla, little bits of spice, but it's more than anything else. It's very appley, whiskey, woody, and a bit of sweetness. Gorgeous fragrance. Performance, right at average. Projection, a little bit soft. Another reason why it's awesome for the office. Up next might be the oldest one on this list. I think it is, but man, this is a timeless classic. This thing is awesome for what it is. I love this fragrance. I really do. I think a lot of you are going to agree and are going to be happy that I put this one on there. That is Burberry London. The tobacco, cinnamon, earthy fragrance with a little bit of a sparkle up top from that bergamot. Juicy and crisp while having a nice dose of that cinnamon tobacco earthy. This thing is so classy, but so easygoing at the same time. And the performance and everything is right at average. It might be like slightly on the stronger side of average, but nothing mind-blowing. It's just, man, this thing just really works so good for cooler days, especially like fall and stuff. This thing is awesome for the fall, just for like whatever, but man, office friendly. This one will get you what you're looking for as far as a cool weather office fragrance. Up next might be one of my favorite smelling fragrances on this list, and they did exactly what I said the first fragrance I was like commending them for, is replicating a discontinued beloved fragrance. If you know the 1 Million lineup, they got Parfum, they got Elixir, they got Royale, they got Lucky, they got so many of them. My favorite one has been discontinued, Privé. Why did they take that one out of the lineup? Luckily, you can go at the rack store and for $25 find one that smells almost identical to that. Lower performance by a long shot, but scratching that itch, Royalty by Maluma, this thing right here does a darn good job at smelling like Privé by 1 Million. Sweet, fruity, cinnamon, vanilla, a little bit of the creaminess, kind of like the same body as like Commer. Doesn't smell like Commer, but as much fruitiness and spicy cinnamon and creamy thing that's going on in the heart of that is happening in here. This doesn't have dates, or it might have plum. It might have plum, but I know for sure it's got pear in it. Fruity, creamy, cinnamon, gourmandy, just nice, like date night. This is a good date night fragrance because it's so inviting. It's so like captivating. It's not loud. It doesn't push off far. It's not like ultra weak, but it doesn't push off far. Overall longevity is like 3 hours or so. It's like a slender bottle, so carry it with you, spray it on. This thing just smells that good, regardless of the weak performance. This thing is awesome, and I say definitely good for the office. So check this one out if you haven't seen it, or check this one out if you haven't. And if you do have it, let me know what your experience with this one is, with any of these. Let me know what you guys think of this list, what you guys think of any of these fragrances. So yeah, it's getting late. I'm going to edit this video and go to sleep. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.